Once upon a time is now. Ever try audiobooks? Many more these days have done so than, say, a decade ago, when Audible was newer. It's now a billion-dollar industry with top voice actors making up to $500 per finished hour. Here are some questions to ask. Will I enjoy someone else reading for me? You will, if you choose carefully and are willing to try new things. You could start with narrators who proved themselves over decades, like the late Frank Muller to Barbara Rosenblatt, George Guidall, Grover Gardner, Susan Torn, and Will Patton. Where do I find good readers? Reviewers are one option, but go to pro reviewers, not disaffected Amazon customers who review based on emotions unrelated to the text. The more you listen, the better you'll appreciate what a voice actor can do to make a story come alive. Some turn it into an audio movie with multiple readers, sound effects, and occasional transition mood music. Can I trust major bestseller lists to find a good book I'll like? Yes and no. If you follow series and have preferred authors, you'll probably get more of the same. But if you're adventurous and seeking hidden gems, like a good reviewer does, you'll make discoveries and gain new satisfaction and insight. What are your hidden gems? There are many. If you like mystery, try James Lee Burke, as read by Will Patton. Called the best living novelist by critics, Burke doesn't do cliches. You'll be squealing in delight and awe if you hear Purple Cane Road or Sunset Limited. Or Ross MacDonald. His Sleeping Beauty includes a full cast like Harris Yulin, Ed Asner, and Stacy Keach. It has nothing to do with the fairy tale other than a dream gone wrong. Rosenblatt reads the Elizabeth Peters historical Egyptian mysteries, and Perdita Weeks reads English historical mysteries by Madeline Miller. You'll know Perdita Weeks from Magnum P.I. Actor Richard Poe reads Steinbeck, Cormac McCarthy, and Dan Brown. Emily Rankin reads Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate, set in Aiken, South Carolina. Eckhart Tolle reads The Power of Now, which inspired my own recent The Final Plot of Valerie Lott. Alice Blanchard's tornado suspense The Breathtaker, as read by actor Peter Coyote, will take your breath away for originality. These are just a few of the classic audiobooks you've probably yet to discover. Here are a couple new releases. Shudder by Ramona Emerson is read by Charlie Flight. It's an odd novel, well written, but more of a literary title than a thriller. It's about a Navajo photographer named Rita who works for the Albuquerque, New Mexico Police Department. She sees some of the victims and hopes to take pictures others can't. She decides she doesn't believe in God, but she does believe in ghosts. The writing is superb, but can sidestep into personal matters since it's written in the first person. She was discriminated against as a child and learned to take photographs as an escape. Each chapter title is another brand of camera. She says at one point that she remembered upsetting her parents by never crying, just laying there staring upward. So they never knew she was asleep or might be dead. She has an affinity to the dead, and one in particular is with her from beginning to end. Will it all be resolved in a follow-up novel? We shall see, or rather hear. Charlie Flight is an excellent narrator who captures the wordy images with a snap for each shot. Never thought I'd hear a book about aging that revealed so many things others hadn't. Not only do you learn which vitamins and supplements work and which don't, but the interactions and reasons behind the confusion. Drug and hormone and stem cell research therapies aid the overall understanding needed to negotiate the sea of products and opinions out there, dazzling and blinding at the same time. What do you really need? A cogent, disciplined approach to the subject of aging survival geared to outsmart diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and dementia. Narrated by the always engaging L.J. Ganser, Cheating Death by Rand McLean is a must-hear for anyone and everyone over 50 looking to beat the odds stacked against us all. Diet, exercise, and prevention, plus modern science testing and monitoring, plus treatments add up to little if you don't comprehend the big picture. Here is that moving picture. Rated GPG, meaning Grandparents' Guidance. Jonathan Lowe has been a judge in the Audio Awards, the Voice Arts Awards, and a reviewer of audiobooks for 3 decades. A Greenville native who's lived in Tucson for 20 years. He's also author of Cat on a Coal Tin Roof, The Methuselah Gene, and Lottery Island. And now Perdita Weeks reading Cersei.
His altars smoked with the proof offerings from big-bellied mothers and happy byblows. "It is marriage," she said to him, "or nothing. And if it is marriage, be sure, you may have what girls you like in the field, but you will bring none home, for only I will hold sway in your halls. Conditions, constrainment, these were novelties to my father, and gods love nothing more than novelty. A bargain," he said, and gave her a necklace to seal it, one of his own making, strung with beads of rarest amber. Later, when I was born, he gave her a second strand, and another for each of my 3 siblings. I do not know which she treasured more, the luminous beads themselves or the envy of her sisters when she wore them. I think she would have gone right on collecting them into eternity until they hung from her neck like a yoke on an ox if the high gods had not stopped her. By then they had learned what the 4 of us were. You may have other children, they told her, only not with him. But other husbands did not give amber beads. It was the only time I ever saw her weep.